Boom. WNBC.
WNBC.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
What's up, guys?
Doing it live with Michael. Mike. God damn it. I just talked about that, but I drank a little too much bourbon with Kristy Lowrey in our previous episode. Mike Kospiah, screenwriter of The Suicide Theory and Rage that just dropped, right?
That's right.
Get into those. You got to get your plugs in early here on Hard Out because that buzzer is harsh and it will come in the middle of a sentence, probably when you're just starting a great story or saying some profound shit. Bam.
Fuck it.
So, Suicide Theory, I've been meaning to watch ever since we got introduced, but I've been busy as fuck, so I haven't seen either of your movies. I feel like kind of an asshole about it. I'm not here to talk about them anyway. Title.
I got close friends that still haven't seen the movie, so
that's how it is. I know we feel your pain.
Yeah, dude, friends are very honest. I had a couple friends try to watch the movie, like 10 minutes in, they're like, "Oh, this shit's boring." I'm like, all right, well.
I have a couple ex-friends who try.
Thanks for the support.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I commandeered her basement. I commandeered her basement for 4 years, and my wife will probably never watch Cactus Jack, so that's cool.
we do think there is this. Nah.
What were we saying?
There is this. He was asking if she had not seen it yet. No. But Jay and I talk about this sometimes. There seems to be this phenomenon when you're a creator that the people around you who already know you just can't believe that you're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just because they know you by definition. Like, right, exactly. That's
yeah, they just can't. Like a lot of people haven't seen it because they don't believe it's going to be good. Just because they know.
They know. You're like, how could a guy I know have done something spectacular? He's just Mike.
Then after you get some real success, they'll come back. Oh man, I knew all along, man. You were the shit.
I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, I knew back when you were dressed up as Show Enough for Halloween that this shit was gonna.
Oh man, I was Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction a couple years ago. I didn't do blackface though. I just yeah. But
Chris,
moving on.
Cactus Jack. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were showing up for Halloween one year?
No, I just made that up. But he said he was Sam Jackson, which is awesome. Did you get at least did you get at least like some Eric LaSalle Soul Glow perm and shit or something?
Well, I wore the suit. I had a black suit, and that was pretty much. I had the bad motherfucker wallet, and yeah,
I still got one of those. My wife gets me a new one every few years.
Oh yeah, very nice.
So. Haven't watched your shit, but just seeing your post and shit online, I could totally tell I'm down with you.
Nice. Likewise, bro. Likewise. I love Cactus Jack. I thought it's a hard watch, but I like movies like that.
Appreciate it, man. You're the one who challenge people because we're like, if 10 people get it, fuck it. We did our job.
Well, it's getting it and like the balls you guys have to do a movie like that. It's not just the movie itself, it's like everything around it.
Yes, appreciate it, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
Ching. Soul Boxer, thanks to the homies at Soul Boxer for the hookup.
Yes. What is that?
That's the bourbon.
Oh, you guys day drinking already? Nice.
Dude. I was just telling our last guest, I really don't drink anymore. I used to be a prolific fucking drinker, dude. Really don't drink anymore. And I only do it during the podcast, but I find myself scheduling podcasts way too frequently now.
It's a podcast alcoholic.
I'm just using you to get to the booze
as an excuse to drink.
Exactly.
I'm glad I can help.
All right, so this show, we're here to talk about your favorite movie, but it's just a hangout, man. Tangents, whatever, this shit. You go wherever. Your favorite movie, though, if you want to roll out the red carpet, is?
Well, it's The Last Dragon.
That's amazing. Of course.
It's
Isn't it everyone?
It shocks me that it's not more people's favorite movie. Now, it's not. It's favorite, I don't think it's the greatest movie. It hasn't really influenced any of my work.
Really?
No, but it's my favorite movie to watch. It makes me smile. It puts me in a good mood. Gets me pumped up. You know, I don't really work out.
It's insane, bro.
But if I do, I play The Last Dragon, the soundtrack, and I'm good to go.
I have to be honest. I had never seen it before. Watching it for this show, and we've seen a ton of like kung fu and shit, and just like grew up in the 80s and stuff, but we moved to the Philippines. What was it, 1986?
86.
I think this movie came out right around then.
85, I think, right?
It may be a little before, but somehow I just missed it. I never saw it. and I was always aware of it, but I just started watching it, you know, knowing you were coming on. And at first I was like, is this dude trolling us, man? The favorite movie? But then as I watched it,
his favorite movie is really Steel Magnolias, but fried green
but
tomatoes.
then as I watched it, I started to get it. You know, I could see, especially, you know, like, when did you see it? What did you see it?
Yeah, is there a nostalgia factor?
There's a huge nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
It's one of the first movies I remember seeing in theaters as a kid.
Yes,
I must have been like 3 or 4. I don't know if it's the first one, but it was one of them. I remember the only other movie I remember seeing when I was young was Song of the South. So that shows how long ago that shit was. But yeah, it was either Song of the South or The Last Dragon. I remember seeing that shit, and I'm half Filipino, so.
Nice.
I looked exactly like Ernie Reyes Jr. in that movie. Like,
yes.
I think we're the same age, around the same age.
Oh, okay.
You know, I had the bowl cut, haircut.
Ernie Reyes Jr. was the kid who was kicking ass at the end, which he went on to do quite a few martial arts movies.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles too. Secret of the Ooze.
What was that? God damn it. Fuck it, I'll remember it later. Eureka Phenomenon.
He was also in Pool Hall Junkies with Christopher Walken.
Yeah, yep. Pool Hall Junkies. All right, man.
Yeah. But
the seeing it the first time is a huge thing because, like, we just had Kristy Lowrey on. Awesome chick. She was talking about her favorite movie is Hell or High Water. That's like so new. There's no good. Like where were you when the Challenger blew up type shit with that or whatever? You know what I mean? But with these old movies, we found like our buddy Juan Ortiz, Predator. One of the first movies his dad took him to in the theater. I think maybe the first.
I can buy that. Predator being that brings me back a little bit too.
Dude, we had 2 guests in Predator. This is the first show we went to do as a Predator episode because I knew Juan loved this movie unabashedly like you do with The Last Dragon. So I hit him up and I was like, dude, what's your favorite movie? It's Predator, right? He's like, yes, we're going to do this thing. Come on, man, talk about it. Then I hit up another buddy of mine named Ian. I was like, bro, you'd be awesome on this no matter what your movie is. What is it? He's like, dude, 100% Predator, bro. I was like, holy shit. We got
it's an awesome fucking movie. I love that movie too. It doesn't have like the thing with The Last Dragon is it has a nostalgia factor.
Mm-hmm.
And like I watch it at least once a month. And every time I watch it, I get that same feeling I had when I was a kid seeing it in theaters. Like,
I feel like it could be a Lebowski type movie for people that the more you watch it, the more you love it type thing.
Yeah. Now there's a lot of
how old were you when you saw it? Would you say?
I think I must have been like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
That's rad.
I was real small, but I don't remember like everything, but I remember the feeling I had. You know what I mean? It's just like well,
part of the cool thing is the special effects. Don't really kick in until the end.
Christ.
And now we're so used to CGI and it's all ubiquitous and shit. But back then, that's a payoff at the end of the movie for a 4-year-old.
Blown away by the special that, and I remember Big Trouble in Little China came out maybe a couple years after that. I remember seeing those, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this is it's like fucking Star Wars.
Yes, it's like when the Emperor is fucking lightning bolting him and shit.
Oh man,
awesome.
Right.
But
yeah, the glow, man. Yeah,
the 80s.
And I was wondering that when I watched it, I was like, when they mentioned that when you achieve mastery, you'll start to glow, and I was like, is that literal? Is that what's going to happen at the end? And sure enough, this shit happened.
Sure enough.
Hell yeah.
See, Tron though, it's like the whole time. Again, this was a payoff.
Yes,
you're like waiting. It's kind of just a normative movie.
We are in this metaphysical universe. Yes.
Yeah.
Sho'nuff's amazing.
Actually, the moment Sho'nuff arrived.
And Sho'nuff is one of my favorite bad guys
ever.
I had seen him before. You know, I was aware of him as a character, having not seen the film. I just saw like T-shirts or something with him. You know,
it's part of the. You know, I grew up outside of Philly, but like movies made me want to move to New York. So, and The Last Dragon was one of them. I remember my first apartment was in Harlem. I was just quoting Shogun like the whole time I was living there. I used to call myself the Shogun of Harlem.
Shogun of Harlem. How many fights did that get you in? Hey, at least in the 80s, as kids, we fought. It wasn't all guns and shit. Like,
that's true.
Yeah, after I saw martial combat for the first time, and after seeing it, like upon repeated viewings, like, you know, when you're a kid, you have like a vivid imagination. I thought I knew martial arts after seeing that movie. Martial
arts movies are dangerous. They make people think they can fight.
I used to I kind of want to say I was play fighting, but it was kind of like
you get in the crane kick stance and get your fucking ass knocked out.
Trying to crane kick a dude.
Exactly.
Trains Krav Maga, Muay Thai. Good luck.
Nah, but we were way into like ninjas and stuff at the
dude,
time. I mean, that's
Shokasugi, the fucking ninja.
I think as a kid, I kind of actually not rejected, but just didn't find myself as interested in the campier side of all that. I actually kind of was more interested in it being like,
seriously.
Yeah, hard, like I don't know, like the
Well, that was the Shokasugi thing. There was no humor. That was straight up ninja shit.
Yeah,
Revenge
like
of the Ninja,
real. Yeah.
Best of the best.
But Bloodsport, love the fuck out of that, man. I watched that a ton.
I could have done that episode too. But yeah,
Bloodsport, we were in the Philippines when it came out, and I remember they would have the bootleg right off Clark Air Base. They'd have the bootleg store where you can go in for a quarter and rent it for like a fucking month or whatever. And it was like somebody with a camcorder in some theater somewhere filmed it and shit, you know. But dude, I saw Bloodsport at least 130 times at least.
Bloodsport that's another one I've seen a million times.
Bloodsport was like playing a video game before video games got really good.
Yeah, it was like it was before Mortal Kombat, right? I mean, that was
before Street Fighter, all that shit.
But it inspired all that. Like it definitely had a hand in, you know.
The Kumite kind of
all these different characters. You had the African guy doing the rolling around and shit.
Yes, exactly.
The big sumo guy, and
it was very Street Fighter.
Yeah, the Muay Thai guy going, you know, with that
the chicken fighter.
It was exactly.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And Forrest Whitaker, he was
amazing. Oscar winner. There's an Oscar winner in Bloodsport.
The Oscar winner. And like again, like these 80s movies, the music always gets me. Like I forget the song in Bloodsport when Forrest Whitaker and the other guy are chasing Van Damme. Van Damme's like doing parkour and shit. And
I don't know if it's even a known one, but I've seen that movie so many times it feels like a hit to me because I've heard it 150 times and shit. But
that like Eye of the Tiger type of stuff, you know, just that gets you pumped up.
Dude, Eye of the Tiger
ballads too. Like, but one of the reasons Rocky IV is one of my favorite movies is because the music they play. Yes. They don't play Eye of the Tiger or any of the Rocky stuff you knew in the other movies. They play all that cheesy 80s music. And
so Eye of the Tiger didn't come in until the fourth one. I wasn't
third, right?
Third. Was it
third?
Third. That was when he's like training to
with Mr. T.
Go back
part 4 is Hearts on Fire and
right.
I will say this
funny though when you say that
Tiger, like if you do a heavy bag workout, it's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like jab.
It's funny though because having grown up during that era when like oftentimes the first I would really start to become conscious of a franchise would be a later movie. Like we were talking about Friday the 13th earlier and The Mask, you know, he didn't wear that till the third movie. Right. And
crazy,
and in this, like you said, you know, the Survivor song didn't come in till the third movie. Another Michael Myers, the Mr. Sandman song. Like when I was a kid, I associated these things to the franchise so much that then later revisiting them, I'm just like, oh yeah, like a lot of the shit didn't happen till later in the like the original
iconic shit.
Any of the shit
from jump.
You know, Friday the 13th was his mom and stuff, you know, like the original. Yeah.
Speaking of music, this whole thing was like a vehicle just for.
It's a Berry Gordy.
Vanities,
Berry Gordy.
Seventh Heaven.
So Berry Gordy being a Motown music producer, right?
Absolutely.
So he's like, listen, I'm gonna make a picture. Fuck it. I'm gonna make a movie. I'm gonna put the bars in this motherfucker. This.
The Last Dragon was actually nominated for Best Song at the Golden Globes for Rhythm of the Night, which it should have been nominated for an Oscar.
Rhythm of the Night is an all-time.
That's a great song.
R&B.
And they got snubbed at the Oscars. And meanwhile, they got nominated for 2 Razzies, which really pissed me off when I discovered that.
What were the Razzies for, do you know?
I think it was Worst Song for Vanity. You know, the Seventh Heaven.
Well, that dance she does.
Yeah, she's very moving. I had the biggest crush on Vanity.
Man, she was
child because of that movie.
Who was the chick in Purple Rain? Because I always thought it was Vanity. Who was the Purple Rain chick?
Do
You gotta go swim in the lake, fucking titty tongue.
Yes, that ain't Lake Minnetonka or whatever the fuck. Yeah. He made her strip and get in the wrong lake.
That was one of the pimp moves of all
fucking
time.
Baller.
If you want to ride with me or whatever, you gotta strip down and jump
right,
in the
exactly.
lake water, the waters of lake, whatever. She does it, and he's like, "That ain't the lake." Money. I always thought it was Vanity, but maybe not. But I thought she was one of the Prince chicks, wasn't she? In one Princess.
She was a protege of his. Yeah. Yes.
She's badass, dude. Beautiful 80s face, iconic. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I was a big Bruce Lee fan too when I was a kid. Like I was all about martial arts. So like you seeing him in the movie was cool. And
they got the rights to all them shits. Fist of Fury, Enter the Dragon, fucking
I heard they had trouble. Like they had to go like over budget to get that.
They probably just put it in and they were like, oops, at the end.
Another one of the reasons why I was really into the movie, because I'm half Asian. Like growing up, when I was a kid, I was growing up in an all white, you know, my school was all white kids. It was like,
funny, our white
it was like me and maybe an Indian kid.
And before that, it was a black neighborhood we grew up in. So we understand being, like the only person representative of a certain group. So what area is this that you're talking about?
It's a town called Bethlehem, about like an hour outside of Philly.
Right.
But I mean, there's different parts of that. But like when I was a kid, I was in one part of town. Of course, there's the south side and all that stuff. But I used to get teased a lot for like being, you know, Asian. Meanwhile, you know, I was in the black culture too as a kid, like the music and you know, it was cool. I thought it was just cool. So seeing this movie and seeing like the cross, this is like 15 years before Romeo Must Die. You know what I mean? So it was really cool to see, you know, black and Asian culture. And all of a sudden it made me feel not cool. Like being Asian was the least cool thing to be when you're a kid. And the coolest thing you could be was black. Black culture was cool. So to bring that together and have, you know, black culture kind of embracing.
If it makes you feel any better, we're heterosexual, cisgender white dudes now, so we're the least cool of all. If it makes you feel better.
What a great time to grow up being what I am.
But
when white was cool, we lived in a black neighborhood and got our asses kicked because we were white. We never benefited from whiteness. Damn it.
Right. I know.
You can't win.
What is this privilege?
Can't win.
Did you ever get the thing where people, though, you remember They Call Me Bruce? Do you remember that shit? It was like a satire of some kid. They call me Bruce, and because he was Asian, everyone thought he knew kung fu and shit. But then throughout the movie, isn't it like he's trying to? I don't remember the plot really. I remember he got
vaguely remember it.
Well, there was some movie called They Call Me Bruce. And I just remember there was this Asian kid, and everyone thought like, "Oh, you must know karate and shit." And he like had to pretend like he did. But I remember he had some nunchucks in one scene, and like the principal was about to bust him for having a weapon. He's like, "No, these are chopsticks." And he's like picking up a chicken leg, big ass nunchucks. And shit.
That was 1982.
Yeah, but it was like satire and shit of Bruce Lee stuff, you know. And but what it was satirizing was what it was like to be an Asian American at the time. Everyone's stereotypical reference point was martial arts. So, you must know karate. You must know karate. I think Revenge of the Nerds, they think Takashi knows karate and shit. Don't fuck with him. He might know karate and shit. It's like, did you get any of that while you were being made fun of? Were there other people who are either wanted to fight you? Because I had that a lot growing up too. I heard you could fight. I want to fight. Let's fight.
No, not really.
Shogun challenge almost. Like
it wasn't really so much of that.
That was his whole motivation.
Yes.
The whole thing.
No, it wasn't. It's not that they were picking fights. Really, it was just like, oh, you look different than I look.
Weak.
And I live with my dad. My dad is white, so everyone thought I was adopted. Apparently, that was
people are so stupid, man.
That's ridiculous.
Who gives a fuck?
Fucking morons.
Yeah.
Did you get in a lot of physical fights, or was it more?
As a kid, you know, I had scuffles, but it was
East Coast, man. We all had a fight on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But no, it wasn't like when I got older, like middle school, high school, like I used to get picked on like a heavy. Like it was then where they started picking fights. But I don't know if it was because I was Asian and I might have just been a dick. I don't know. But yeah, the thing about it, I read an article about The Last Dragon. It was from a couple of years ago. You know, we're in this woke culture now. and they're just like bashing the movie, and saying it was problematic. And
this is funny because I was jokingly thinking, if I were a wokester or a woke scold, I'd be saying, this is black people culturally appropriating Asian culture.
Asians, right?
Like,
yeah, I didn't see that at all. I thought it was,
I was
just having fun with it. Like you had,
I think
it was the black dude being an Asian stereotype, and you have the 3 Asian dudes that you know, they're singing at the beginning. They work at the fortune cookie factory,
the master,
and they're acting, you know, they're acting like they're black.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just
it's like the whole the phrase, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Like, isn't appropriation a positive?
It's
like,
an homage.
Doesn't it mean that you're actually, that it's because you actually are enamored by this particular, you know, culture or whatever it may be, you know, that you're embracing it? It's not a negative thing for someone to appropriate it because they actually like it and respect it, you know?
If you get mad at some white girl for wearing a kimono to her prom, you don't have nearly enough going on in your life.
Exactly. I will appropriate the fuck out of like a food made by other fucking cultures. Because you know what I mean? That's the best shit on earth. You know what I mean?
Jeet Kune Do. Take what works. Get rid of what doesn't. Exactly. Like, we should all be appropriating each other's shit.
Yeah. Like, let's appropriate till we're at the pinnacle.
Imagine if in martial arts, if they're like, you can't appropriate. Japanese guys can't do jujitsu, like Brazilian jujitsu, and
they're gonna ban like all Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right.
Well, people
Steven Seagal's a white dude doing Aikido. Fuck that.
People are mistaking theft or appropriation for theft. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's one thing when you like steal outright. Like, there's some contention about like blues rock and stuff like that, whereas that like it started out with black people playing it and then white people came up. But I still think there's I don't think it all comes down to intent. We always talk about the intent behind it. And is it meant, were they actually outright trying to steal? No. Or were they just inspired? I think they actually thought it was awesome, you know, and they actually wanted to be that.
I mean,
exactly. And I think that's a big distinction people are missing.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Timac?
Timac. Well, Timac.
Who is this dude?
I love the one name. Like
he was a legit martial artist. I think they cast Show Enough, Julius Carey, I believe his name is. They cast him. He was one of the first people to cast.
Fucking
but he didn't know martial arts. He was an actor. So they had a guy teach him martial arts.
You could tell from some of them kicks he did not know martial arts.
So the guy
Dolomite,
who's coaching him,
like that's the pinnacle of that shit, dude.
So the guy who was coaching him knew Timac. I guess they were in the same dojo or whatever. And I guess that's how they found Timac, and they got him to play the role, but they needed to get him an acting coach.
So he wasn't even an actor or a performer or anything. He was purely a martial artist, but he came out the gate with the one name status. Gotta respect that shit. He came out like Madonna. Totally. Like,
he was the lead role in a movie where you saw Chaz Palminteri. He's in it for like 2 seconds. Yep. William H. Macy.
William H. Macy's coat.
Yeah, that blue. I was.
William H. Macy's jacket should be in the Smithsonian, dude. That shit is amazing.
Mike Starr.
That was the shit that inspired like Carl Kanai and Cross Colors to start making shit in the 90s.
Nah.
It was amazing.
But yeah.
This had some great moments, like the scene when the guy held up the newspaper as his resume. And it was like the co-ed incinerator murder or whatever. Like, that's your resume. So I like the way they framed the shot. Just all these great little moments.
Well, one of my favorite scenes is in the movie theater at the beginning where they show Bruce Leroy. He's got the fucking hat on.
Yeah,
he's eating his popcorn with chopsticks, dude. He's eating it with chopsticks.
Oh,
fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
I know. I was thinking that's a way to slow down, dude.
But when they wanted him to teach him craps and they ended up playing hopscotch.
Oh, that was amazing, dude. The best shit, that was the cross culture shit was the best comedy in it to me, of guys appropriating, whatever the fuck you want to call it. When he was talking to his brother, like his little brother's like, you can go with me, but you got to rap. And he's trying to rap and shit. And whatever they did with Timac, he's so old school into the mysticism of martial arts that he speaks like a Doctor Strange comic or something instead of like a real person. So no contractions.
I was not hurt.
I will not do that. You know
exactly.
So anytime he tried to talk black and shit or urban, whatever you want to say these days, it was fucking amazing, dude. Would it be? What does it be?
It's a small moments
Right.
too. It's just every time I watch it, I always laugh at the same parts. So, like the part in the theater where like these guys are break dancing in the middle of the theater, and then the one guy, like in sync with the Bruce Lee movie on the screen, he stomps on the boombox.
That famous jump in, what was that? Where he fucking, when he lands, he does that. Fucking the dude even did it.
And like when they show when they show
I love the two tough guys up on the balcony.
Yes.
What?
Oh man.
What we thought passed for a tough guy in the 80s is fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh my God.
It's like now it's like a gay bear or whatever they call them. Like the Blue Oyster Cult or Blue Oyster Club and Police Academy. That was tough.
Oh man, it's so funny. And the scene where they show Chico DeBarge doing, or not Chico, DeBarge. Chico's son. When they show DeBarge doing Rhythm of the Night.
Yes.
And like his head just pops up on the screen.
And he's smiling when he says the shit. God, but see that
so fucking
the
great.
fact that Barry Gordy went to make kind of this vehicle for his stars and music and shit, it makes it kind of this disjointed thing where it's like, all right, we're gonna stop and there's no story for 4 minutes because we're gonna listen to DeBarge for the fucking entirety of the song almost or whatever, you know. And it's just so not normative to movies where you're like, am I really just in a music video now and there's no story happening and shit?
The script's got to be like 50 pages long or something like that. But
just kind of great and refreshing though in this age where we're so used to like, just plot points and this is going to happen and then that's going to happen.
Just let them do their thing and play some music.
It's breathing and shit.
Yeah, to me, The Last Dragon is a musical, pretty much.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think that's fair as hell.
Yeah, definitely is.
He probably pitched it.
It was weird for the longest time. I thought that was Cyndi Lauper in the movie, like when I was a kid.
Oh, that chick? No way.
Give Cyndi Lauper props. Cyndi
Lauper's way awesomer.
Yeah, that chick is a cheap. She's like
Faith Prince or something. I think she was a musician too, but she wasn't nearly as big as
her acting is ridiculous too. But it is funny in that one scene where she had to tell him.
Oh yeah, that was good actually. Yeah, I was moved by her. Yeah.
She like has tears and
yeah.
But it was.
I'm sure the real actress probably dealt with some bullshit like that in her own life. She probably was accessing something, man.
Totally.
Yeah, I think she was a Broadway actor or something. Like
that could happen too. Very big.
Yeah, well, there definitely was a phase, and this seemed to maybe be on the tail end of it, where there were theater actors who would play movie parts and kind of play as if they were on the stage still instead of in front of.
William H. Macy came from the stage doing Mammoth plays.
Yeah.
What did you think of Taimak? Do you feel like he should have went on to have more of a career had he wanted it? I don't know if he even wanted it, if he was like fuck movies after making it or what. I think he was in 4 movies over like 20. He's like the Terrence Malick of actors and shit.
I mean, if I ever get like you guys and direct my own movie, I'm fucking putting Taimak in that shit.
Yes, dude. Tarantino, that shit.
I might too, dude.
Yeah.
I'll find a role for him.
Hell yeah.
I'll
put Shonuff in anything.
Fuck yeah.
I think
I'll reshoot Jack to have Shonuff kill him at the end and shit if he's still alive.
No, he passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, did he? Damn.
I know. I was devastated.
Honestly,
vanity too.
A lot of people would answer like young Johnny Depp or fucking what. If I could look like anyone, it would be Shonuff, dude. That motherfucker looks amazing.
Dude. Oh yeah,
looks like fucking Booker T from WWF.
This big lean karate dude.
Yes.
The shoulder
pads. Like the fucking
football shoulder pads with like kung fu insignias and shit on them.
That's where Zeke Elliott got the fucking look from, with the shoulder pads and showing his stomach.
Shonuff.
Were you into wrestling, like WWF shit?
Yeah, big time. I was really into the over the top.
Yeah, this echoes that to some
like movies, and but I was huge in wrestling. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan when I was younger.
We just watched Santa with Muscles as one of our reviews. You know that movie, Hulk Hogan as Santa.
We had to review that. What was it with? Do you remember? It was something ridiculous.
What do you mean with?
What was it paired with? Because we do like a
double feature thing. What was it? Shit.
Oh. Yeah, if you guys ever do No Holds Barred, hit me up.
Shit.
A war, I think.
Ridiculous. This award by the Danish filmmaker Tobias Lindholm. It's like
super understated, you know, war criminal trial shit.
Like a double feature with Santa with muscles. This ain't No Holds Barred though, man. Tiny Lister just died and shit. I'll watch that.
I know. Fuck, dude.
That rings a bell, but that's about it. Let me see. No Holds Barred.
Oh man,
I know you've seen it at least once when I was
Van Claude involved or anything, or Seagal or someone.
Nah, it's just Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan versus
Hogan. Oh, I see.
Tiny Lister.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know you've seen it at least once, dude.
And I forget the actor's name. He played like Zeus's manager in the movie, but he was in Scary Movie. Funny fucking guy. I forget his name. So this bald dude.
Who's the dude that played Tomac's dad? He looked familiar as shit to me, and I feel like I'm not giving props to some actor. The guy who owned the pizza shop.
Yeah.
Was he in something else? I should know. He seemed familiar.
Oh, another face in the movie. He plays one of the dudes he's more of an extra, but Carl Anthony Payne. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Martin.
Yes.
But he played Cole.
Yes.
You see a young Cole in that scene when
shit.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Martin when Kristy Lowrey was on. I was like, Kristy Lowrey. Mike Lowry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyone who has that name, you got to say it that way.
Motherfuckers nowadays do not know about Martin, dude. Martin owned the 90s.
That was hilarious.
I totally forgot about him until you guys mentioned him.
Remember that movie, Nothing to Lose, with him and Tim
Robbins?
Yeah, hilarious. There's a
he
spider on your
he was the biggest star
face.
for like 10 minutes. Like, he didn't even get the 15 minutes, it felt like.
No, he had like a decade almost.
No, I know, I kid. I'm talking relatively.
Blue Streak and
Blue Streak is good, yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
That Big
But I'm
Mama's
just saying
House
now,
shit
does
killed him.
anyone know who he is? Like any of the latest generation, they would fucking not register.
Kind of. Yeah,
Well, if you saw the third Bad Boys movie, maybe.
Yeah, the third one, maybe. But he just feels like some dude they're bringing back from the dead.
Dude, I just searched him.
Like-
The first people also asked question comes up. Why was Martin canceled?
Was he?
Yeah.
Remember he
Now
almost
Martin-
died because he got all fat. So he's coming back for like Bad Boys 2 or some shit. So
Well, I think he got fat, but he got fat out. He had a stroke. He's actually a really funny stand-up too. But he talks about one of his stand-up specials that he just got really high and just started jogging.
But he wore like one of those plastic bags, and he just
wore bags over him like the sweat, and I guess he had like a stroke. So after that, his face got fat,
puffed up, and he was doing it for a movie role because he's like he had gained weight.
Yeah,
and he had a movie coming up. He had to get skinny for it. I wonder if the studio told him or if it was just his own.
That can't be good.
Self-consciousness and shit.
Fucking body shaming.
Right, could have been, dude. But man, Martin was the king. Between his show, that shit, Big Mama's House, Blue Streak. I mean, he's a DC area dude too, which is fucking awesome. East Coast. Like,
dude,
this is the only episode I've ever mentioned.
The smell,
sound like
smell.
Yeah, the body, the smells.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious.
He's the best.
Oh, his characters on Martin were the best. Jerome, and when he played the white dude, he'd put the white face makeup on.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Blonde hair.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because I have to admit, when I read that first line, when it said, "Why was Martin canceled?" I was totally my mind being in what the word canceled means.
Oh, it means why was the show canceled?
Yeah, it meant why was the show canceled.
We're so conditioned by woke culture.
Exactly.
That's what I thought when you said it.
Hashtag cancel Martin.
Me too. Yeah, the way I read it. But then I see they're talking about the show.
That's hilarious. They're gonna have to come up with a new term for canceling shows now, where it's just like it expired.
Yeah, it ended.
Are you a dancer?
That's telling though how we default to that.
Do you dance? Are you a b-boy or any shit? You fucking
me?
Yeah.
No.
I was just wondering what, like that Solid Gold type show that Vanity has. Like, would you go? Like, I want to get on that show and show my moves and shit.
That looks fun to me, dude. I would totally fucking dance on a fucking.
I'll chili pepper dancing it.
I'm not a terrible dancer, but I'm not the guy who. I'm not like on Soul Train going down the aisle. You know what I mean? I'm like I'm the guy dancing on the. I do well enough to blend in.
Quite a wallflower, but like in the periphery there.
You just find some unsuspecting chick to creep up on and grind on.
Blend in with everybody else, but yeah, I'm not going down the aisle.
Getting your Dirk Diggler on and shit. Like Leguizamo and Summer of Sam.
You got the power.
You got the touch.
Have you ever seen Kentucky Fried Movie?
Yeah, it's been a while, but
it spoofed on Bruce Lee, you know, the dragon thing. It was like basically the main centerpiece of the movie at the end, or
just 100 dudes running at them to fight him, but they all take their turns. Pretty funny. Shit.
I fucking love movies like that, bro. What was that movie 43 or whatever the fuck it was that came out? Like
it was like
all
a
these
spoof,
big stars,
scary movie type thing,
doing the Kentucky Fried Movie shit. But it was so fucking stupid. But it was like I couldn't stop.
I haven't seen that.
Dying,
okay. We need more like that. Everyone's so fucking serious nowadays.
Yeah, just fucking be funny, man.
We do need a spoof movie. Like, when's the last time we had an airplane, Naked Gun type
dumbass movie, dude? That's what we need now more than ever. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think they still those guys who did. I forget I think they're director team brothers like you guys, but they did like the spoof movies all the time. But then they just kept doing too much.
Zucker brothers,
like that.
I forget.
I know the Zucker brothers were big.
Yeah,
they were back in the day. They did like Airplane and all that kind of shit.
They're like they're reaching too far. There was nothing left to.
Top Secret.
Yeah,
you ever see that one? That was a classic.
Hot Shots Part 2.
Yes, the Leslie Nielsen stuff.
But I'm saying it's been a while, dude. It's been like 20 years.
I like not another teenage movie.
Yeah.
Pratt. I thought it was fucking great. Randy Quaid, and the first Scary Movie was hilarious.
The dick that came out the glory hole.
Thing is,
impaled somebody's head and shit.
Rewatching the originals that they were spoofing, you almost don't need to spoof them. They spoof themselves. Some of these fucking
that's true. Some of the dated ones. You know, Craig Mazin wrote Scary Movie. The guy wrote Chernobyl for HBO and shit. And it's like Emmy nominations. Wrote Scary Movie.
Yeah, Chernobyl was great. Have you seen that Chernobyl?
I have not. No,
dude, it's so good. It's one of the best things I could recommend.
I need a new show to
check it out, dude. It's only 6 episodes, I think, or something like that. It's a limited series, of course.
Yeah, I'll check it out while New York's still kind of closed.
Stellan Skarsgård and shit. It's just
where are you at on TV versus movies? Like, movies was the first love, like us in the 80s and shit. I'm sure TV sucked back then. It's like Small Wonder and Alf and shit. Like,
TV? No, Small Wonder. You know, back then we only
wasn't epic. It wasn't like The Sopranos.
No, not when we grew up. Yeah,
no, back then there was only like
it tried sometimes with like Dallas and shit like that. You know, it tried to get like into that territory.
Soap opera there.
Sopranos really changed the game, man.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
but like back in the 80s, there was only like 30 channels or something like that. My TV only had 13 channels with a knob.
I remember 3.
So I was just watching whatever was on.
We were the remote control. You know, the parents would send us over to change the channel and the dial.
So I used to watch a lot of reruns because that's all that was ever on. I was watching The Honeymooners, Three Stooges.
What's happening?
Sanford and Son. What's happening?
Yes, exactly.
Sanford and Son.
Oh man,
Three's Company.
Sweet spot. Cheers.
Well,
yes.
I think Cheers was still like big. It wasn't like in rerun.
Yeah.
Oh, in rerun, yes.
Gilligan's Island.
Reruns. Yeah.
Gilligan's Island.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little. Well, that was more like Nick at Night when that came around. You get shit like Car 54 and fucking The Flying Nun and stuff. That was a pretty cool period to do that, to like bring that.
Nick at Night in the 90s was the shit to watch those 50s and 60s shows.
Yeah. What else? I was big into Miami Vice when I was a kid too.
See, that's the closest you got to the modern golden age, though. That was like theatrical.
Badass. I think there was a show called
like
Hammer.
Michael Mann, inspired that.
Dude, Sledgehammer
or something.
You talking about Sledgehammer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Parody of the cop is like a satire of cops.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer
like
was
a cool gun.
Yes, it was great.
Every episode would end with his boss like hammer.
Yes.
Like he did some
I think
shit.
didn't the first season end with a nuclear explosion and then hear over the explosion?
The first season,
hammer.
And then it just came back the second season.
Yeah, because we were like, where do you go from here? Is it going to be like some fucking Escape from New York?
That's one of the great underrated.
And then they just said, flash forward to 5 years earlier, and the whole next season was before the bomb.
Smart.
You fuckers.
Sledgehammer.
What else? Cosby Show. Cosby Show,
man. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I've said this.
Considering now the outcome with Cosby, it's just what a weird.
I've said this countless times. Well, it's kind of like Dave Chappelle's bit. sometimes you gotta what he's rape to do good or some shit. I don't know exactly how he framed it, but
right, yes.
Bill Cosby, for all intents and purposes, was my dad. Bill Cosby's the best dad I ever had. I'll say it right here. Cliff Huxtable was the best dad I ever had.
Well, that was, what was on the screen. Obviously, that wasn't the real guy. They didn't show what he was really doing.
That just means a father figure, a guiding influence in my life, someone to look up to.
Yes. That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm saying you didn't see the real Cosby. You saw the one they put on TV.
Well, he was a gynecologist.
Right?
True.
And did you ever see that episode?
Damn, that's sly. I wonder if he really did that.
Yeah, little slime that in.
Like when he's pitching the show, he's like, you know, fuck with pussy.
Right. There's a clip on YouTube you can see where he had a barbecue. Cosby in the show had a barbecue, and he's like, y'all gotta try my chicken, man. It'll make you feel good, and everyone's and they're all like eating the chicken. They're like, oh my God, I feel fucking sublime. And then he's like winking and shit. And then his wife took the chicken away from the kids because he had some special ingredient in it that made everyone feel good. Dude, you gotta look this up. Yeah, that's exactly. It was his
Bill Cosby. He gave hints in his stand-up. He was a very clean comic, but he had
he used to come down on other people.
Yeah, he'd call Eddie Murphy
Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and shit. Yeah,
but Bill Cosby had a bit called Spanish. It was called Spanish Fly, where he talks about Spanish Fly. Oh, you slipped that into the drink.
Is that crazy? His stand-up, it's the most confessional stand-up ever. Like literally confessing the crimes and shit.
Yeah, I didn't really like his stand-up.
It's wild.
I remember as a kid when I was in like third grade, some other kid did his dentist bit. Remember the dentist where he's like putting the microphone shit? He did it at a talent show.
Dumb enough to
God.
In third grade, and he got so many laughs.
You're younger.
And I was like,
we were younger at the time.
Well, he did this Bill Cosby bit, word for word. You can tell he just memorized it, practiced it every night, and he killed it.
The impression,
and the audience loved it. But I was like, am I the only one that's seen this shit? Like, this is a rip-off, dude. And I didn't know at the time, like, you couldn't rip shit off, I guess, for a talent show as a kid. I guess that's all you do, right? Who's gonna like?
You said you saw a kid at a talent show ripping
shit. Yes, yeah. Like, but I even had this expectation then, like, this motherfucker ripped off Bill Cosby's getting Bill Cosby's laughs. They're not.
And this kid grew up to be Carlos Mencia.
I think you mean Ned. What's his name? Ned. Fuck. That's his real name. Carlos Mencia's real name.
Oh, Ned.
I want to say Ned Ryerson, but that's fucking
I was gonna say
Groundhog's Day.
Bing!
That steps in doozy.
Ned the Head.
Bing.
Some German name. It's like a German
Yes, it is. It's like some. Damn it. I'm gonna look it up.
I'll have to watch that Joe Rogan clip again.
Yeah, the one where he tears them apart on stage. You mean, or that one. Yeah, that was fucking.
But he just did a podcast interview on Bobby Lee's podcast.
On who? Sorry,
this guy's Lee, delusional. Dude.
Tiger Belly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I thought that's who you were.
Well, he did one a couple of years ago on Joey Diaz, where he like was super confessional, but a lot of people were like, I'm not buying it, and I guess it's just been a.
Nah, he's never
man. Well, look.
Yeah.
Bobby we got comedian buddies, Gall, who played Cactus Jack. He's a stand-up comedian by
choice. Is he?
Really acerbic, just dark, fucked up humor. But
it's a blue collar
surprise.
Yeah.
But he's very much like anti-Robin Williams. I think he loves him as a dramatic actor, but Robin Williams was known as a joke thief early in his career.
Right. And Robin wasn't shy about it.
But he would pay you.
He apologized.
I got that Mark money, bitch. Like,
right.
If you admit you're a thief, then everyone forgets about it. But
I guess so. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic because
that's all I'm saying is it's something you can talk about for an hour itself is joke thieving because it's like copyright.
What if he didn't make the money?
It's
an
idea versus a script.
Yeah,
like I could take a bit and make the bit
right because you can't copyright
an
idea.
But comedians actually you can't. It's one thing to do it specifically the exact same punchline, the setup, everything. Yeah. But if it's just a premise,
the execution,
bit about,
I think that's the distinction is idea versus execution.
Yeah, but a lot of comedians get bitchy if you even just do the premise on that.
No, and I think that's wrong. I think at this point, especially as we, I mean,
everything.
especially if you can't prove they stole it, because everything is like there's a zeitgeist element to most, you know, there's like 8 billion people in the world, and the idea that you were the only one that came up with a certain idea, you know, we've seen that. Jay and
you know what I always thought would be a killer.
I've seen it too. I remember my first movie is Suicide Theory. It's about a guy who can't die, essentially. He's suicidal, but he thinks he's cursed, so he keeps surviving each attempt.
It does, yeah.
So I remember
Groundhog Day comes to mind again. Yeah.
Well, I was kind of inspired by that part in Groundhog Day when when he kills himself repeatedly.
There's a sequence, right, where he just like kept trying, and
I thought it was the most beautiful part, most like honest part of the movie.
Yes, that was.
So I kind of use that.
I can appreciate what you're saying.
Like a couple years, I was so nervous people were going to use that same premise. Luckily, it got made, but like a couple years later, there's a movie called it had Henry Rollins is in it. It's actually pretty fucking cool. But it's the same premise, but it's different. But I remember there were people like one of the actors on the movie was like, "Oh, they stole our idea," and I was like, I don't think they did. I think it's just, you know, it's hard to believe that there's an original, truly original premise. Everything's been kind of explored already.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at, especially with comedy premises.
Especially comedy, like you're just talking about life, like pretty much.
Right, and we're talking about now. Imagine 1,000 years from now, if you know civilization persists. Like, what are you going to do? You can't. How are you going to come up with anything new? It's all been done 1,000 times. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when you were, say, in the beginning of cinema, you know, or even like you go all the way back to like the ancient Greeks in the beginning of theater and shit. You know, like any idea was new and fresh. You know, however fundamental. Now we're at a point where it's like a minefield as far as like, how can you originate? How can you do anything that hasn't already been done? It's pretty
unfair to the future generation.
Music, you know,
storytelling, joke telling. To
it is.
Well, it's almost like
I think we just need to acknowledge that. And
like alt comedy sucks. New comedy sucks. There's no good music. It's like because you all did it, and there's only so much.
You can't innovate. All these movies are all remakes. That's one thing I don't understand. Like, I do believe there's some movies that shouldn't be remade, but like if you can do it in theater, imagine if theater had the same, you know.
Restriction.
Like you're doing the same fucking play every
Shakespeare can
exactly
fucking cats.
That's where I'm at.
Sons of bitches. You know,
we've said that countless times. We said that on this podcast. There should be 10 versions of fucking
absolutely
anything.
Well, we were thinking like The Breakfast Club is a great example. You know, the movie The Breakfast Club.
Don't rewrite it for this age.
You've got like the jock and the rebel and the nerd.
Or you can rewrite it.
You could recast that 1,000 times with every generation's new actors and treat it like Shakespeare. You know, and
absolutely.
It's like interpretive.
I thought of that while watching this film actually, and I wanted to ask you about that. Would you like to make a remake of The Last Dragon? Because is that a dream project for you to write as a screenwriter? Or
it's not, see, the genre is not really, it's not my kind of film that I would write. I would find a way to do that. If they came out with like a Last Dragon TV show like they did with Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, yeah.
They're trying to do with Buckaroo Banzai.
I would be all over that shit. I would absolutely. That'd be the fucking dream.
Well, what take like the Karate Kid they remade with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan.
That was actually pretty decent.
It's good. It's good.
I haven't seen it.
It's not bad, dude, at all. And Jackie Chan's great in it. It might be
at least
best
Jackie
dramatic
Chan is a martial artist.
Oh,
I remember
Pat Morita.
Can't replace Mr. Miyagi, man.
I met Pat Morita. I think he was. I went to Disney World, and he was at Disney World when I was like 8. And I remember
was this by chance? He just happened to be there, like doing
I don't
a show
know if it was
type
by
of thing.
chance or if it was like.
I mean, my point is,
or some shit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're being there at the time. You knew.
Did you go to Disney World?
No, I didn't go. Right, I was just in Disney World with my grandparents. I was 8. Dude, I remember I heard him talk.
Serendipitous, man.
I heard him talk, and he just sounds like a white dude. And
oh shit,
kind of fucked up my whole shit. And afterwards, I was watching reruns of Happy Days. I was like, what the fuck?
He was in Happy Days. You know, he's a sad story. I actually saw somebody just made a documentary about him recently. I think because of the newfound interest because of Cobra Kai. But it kind of fucked him. Like he got pretty typecast because of that role, and he died like a drunk and penniless and shit, basically, which is sad as fuck for Mr. Miyagi.
Terrible.
Yeah.
You should be able to coast on
exactly
Mr. Miyagi the rest of your life.
Yeah, and
he was not. He was Oscar. He was
Oscar nominated for the first role. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, some people would debate, but I thought he was awesome. It was fucking Mr. Miyagi.
I thought he deserved it.
Iconic as shit, dude.
Yeah.
It is funny if you're into martial arts, though, to watch those movies and like, holy shit, they did not know nothing about fighting, dude.
This guy, he can't kick past his knee. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, it's amazing the shit he does to those kids.
At least Jackie Chan can fuck somebody up.
Jackie Chan's maybe the most balls out fucking stuntman of all time.
It's crazy.
There's nothing better than the outtakes of a Jackie Chan movie where you see all the
I still watch on
stunts.
YouTube.
My kid is
Sometimes
7.
My favorite parts of his movies. I remember Rubble in the Bronx.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. That's another one with bad guys. The bad guys reminded me of The Last Dragon a lot.
What's the one with the ladder? I just showed that to my son like 6 months ago. He's 7 years old now. And God damn it.
I know the scene
something strike.
about.
Yeah, for Jackie Chan's First Strike.
First Strike, I think. There's a battle scene where he uses a ladder. It's fucking better than anything Buster Keaton did in his entire life and shit. It's amazing. Jackie Chan is the truth. And my kid is watching it like, oh my God. And then my wife came home from work. He's like, Mom, you gotta see this dude with this ladder. Like,
yes.
Like you're proselytizing.
That was ingenious.
Jackie Chan, man.
Oh,
well, he grew up. See, this is the thing. Say what you want about our free society, but take communist countries, take Cuba with, say, like Yoel Romero, these wrestlers, they're bred. And from 4 years old, they do nothing but wrestle, and they live in this facility where
it's like the dude in Rocky IV.
Yeah, everyone gets 2 meals, but if you're the best wrestler, you get 3 meals, like that kind of shit. State sponsored. And Jackie Chan, I don't know if it was from communism, but he was in one of those theater troops from like the age of 3 or 4. So he was doing backflips at like 4 years old and shit. Like, or not.
See, I kind of, there's a part of me that wishes that would have been me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but then
I always wanted to be like a tough guy who.
But what kind of parent does that take, or state in the case?
What kind of life is it? Yeah. What kind of? It's a singular pursuit to be a badass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A true badass.
But. So
maybe the fantasy world we live in is better.
Maybe.
Just play video games and smoke weed.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
Right?
I'll be a badass and I'll play Hulk Hogan in WWE 2K, whatever the fuck.
So would this be your desert island movie if you were like if you had to choose one movie to see?
Absolutely, without a question. It's my favorite movie to watch. It doesn't inspire any of my writing or anything. It just lets me get lost and enjoy myself. Nice. If I'm in a shitty fucking mood, let's say I go to a funeral,
I see it.
I come back home, I'm putting on The Last Dragon, I'm gonna fucking smile and order some pizza. And
shit, it might be mine now.
Yeah, no shit. Now that you've said that,
I might come home from next time I'm at a funeral. I'm coming home and putting this shit on.
Yes. I was gonna, like I mentioned at the beginning,
I might kill someone just to do it.
when I first heard this was your favorite movie pick, I was like, is this dude trolling? Like I said, but then as I watched it, I was like, this has heart.
It's so charming.
That was the word I was looking for, is heart. Like few movies achieve the level of heart this movie does.
I remember
it's so wholesome on a level, like
there's this YouTube video of a dad watching it with his son. His son's like 2 years old, 3 years old, or something like that. And they show the ending, like when he opens his mouth and he caught the bullet in his teeth, and the kid's his look of wonder and amazement. I was like,
I'm about to show
that
it
was
to
me.
Dude. Yeah,
that's still me. I know it's coming, but I'm like smiling because I'm
exactly because the moment they first mentioned that in the movie, very early in the movie, the plant, when they say that
Shogun said, or Shonuff says, "Oh, you're the man who catches bullets with his teeth."
Exactly. They set it up, and then way later, you knew it was coming as soon as.
But he hadn't been. That's what's the beauty of it. And the message of the movie really is the shit. Don't look for masters. Look inward.
Yes,
believe in yourself.
That was a great message. Yeah. It was in you all along.
His master was the shit.
Yes.
Oh, that's a belt buckle. You needed something. You needed some icon. You don't need shit. Go do it.
By the way, that Johnny Yu, was it? character in it? Johnny Yu or Johnny Woo?
Oh yeah, who didn't really know martial
I love
arts.
that dude. Yes, he's like,
dude, who is that guy? Why is he not a star?
I know. I
shit.
googled him and I there wasn't much.
Do you remember
The fighting without fighting?
Dude,
yes,
or something like that.
he was
a
charismatic as fuck. I loved him.
Yes, he should have been a star. I blame the
He
80s.
should have. There's a lot of people that should have been stars in that. But my favorite, that like Ernie Reyes Jr. was
When they come out at the end kicking ass.
It was like watching myself, you know, a badass version of myself on screen. Looked exactly like the fucking kid.
Yes.
I had big
The
lips.
bowl cut, like you said.
Yeah. Big head. And but yeah, that's definitely a desert island movie. If you look at my other movies in my top 5, they're nothing like
Let's hear
Last Dragon. It's Psycho, Taxi Driver, probably Pulp Fiction, because I saw it when I was like 14. I was like, holy shit, this changes everything. And see, it's between Rocky or Unbreakable. It's an interchangeable.
Rocky and Unbreakable. Interesting.
Yeah, that you know, because I'm a Philly sports fan. I hear that Rocky music, I instantly get inspired.
Dude, it's so iconic.
Dude, Rocky's all-time shit. I mean,
yes. Dude, that's a good list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taxi Driver. I mean, come on.
I mean, Cactus Jack was largely.
I mean, if anything, you'd say The Last Dragon's almost the one that doesn't fit, but it does. It totally fits.
Yeah,
especially
it does.
You know.
I mean, those other movies I list outside of Rocky, those movies aren't going to put you in a good mood. It's, you know,
dude, Rocky ends on a downer. The first one's super downer. I mean, well, it's uplifting. It's a Pyrrhic victory, you know.
Yeah,
they all have that element to it, you know.
He reached his goal. He said, "I just want to make it. And I want to make it 12."
The only shitty part about Rocky is I'm a Philly sports fan, so that pretty much symbolized like up until the Eagles won the Super
struggle.
Bowl.
Yeah.
How big of a Bill Burr fan are you?
I love Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's awesome. Rampage against Philly sports fans.
That's one of the that's legendary.
Yes,
that's the thing about Philly sports fans is they can take.
You guys have a rep, I will say, man.
It's ball busting. They'll throw batteries at you and shit on the field, but
which is
dude. I remember
awful.
I was working at a comedy club in New York, and Bill Burr came in, did a set. There's only like 10 people in the crowd.
This is post Philly Rampage.
Yeah, this is like maybe the last year or a couple years ago. But man, he is. It's like there's 10 people in the crowd, but there were like all like 20-year-old white chicks, you know, in college. And they were just booing everything. They didn't even know who he was. I was like, fuck these people.
Well, I just posted some shit on Facebook. You know, this one lady who's totally anti what Bill Burr had to say in defense of Gina Carano, but against cancel culture, which we don't need to get into. I don't even know how many minutes we have left on this shit for the buzzer hits.
That's a whole other episode.
But she was like, "Who the fuck is Bill Burr?" I was like, "Dude, man, if you don't know who Bill Burr is, just don't even speak on anything comedic whatsoever."
He's got his own podcast now too.
Dude,
he's got a couple podcasts on it.
He's had for a while,
a top shelf comedian.
But I remember he gives zero fucks. He went on stage,
negative 6 fucks.
First thing he does with these fucking crowd full of white woke girls, he's like, "All right, let's get right into it. Let's talk about abortion."
Yes.
All right.
So there was a girl.
So wait, you're saying though at a show like his own fans weren't there?
Or he probably jumped in on the spot.
Oh, this was like a rando.
He was filming King of Staten Island.
Okay.
You know, these comics, they just work their new material. They go from comedy club to comedy club.
Because my heart sunk when it sounded like no one showed up. That was his fan.
He just popped in,
okay, I get you now.
If they knew that place.
It's like a Tuesday night. He popped in.
Yeah.
Because it was a Sunday night.
Okay.
But some girl got up. She threw her purse. She was cursing at him. Like, fuck you. She puts her purse on. It's like, yeah, put your strap over your shoulder, make a scene for everybody.
Yeah.
She stormed.
Why'd you even don't enter a comedy club? That's like me going to church. Just don't do it.
Why are you getting mad? Like,
stay the fuck out. Mind your business. This is not, you're out of your element.
You want fucking knock jokes and it doesn't. I don't know.
You're out of your element.
I think I might have been the only one laughing. I was just in the back. Just fucking rolling.
Dude, Bill Burr? I would have been honored to have been there with no one else here. It's like a private Bill Burr show.
Oh, he was so upset. He got out and he was just like pacing. I was like, dude, that was fucking awesome.
Man, when we optioned our show, The Revenger, to the Weinsteins, we're out in LA. And the one night we went out and bothered to venture out because we had all these pitch meetings and shit, we were like, let's go hit the store, dude. We went to the Comedy Store.
Oh, nice.
And fucking, it was the two mics or bumping mics, whatever the shit. Dave Attell
and Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross just roasting audience members and shit. They were there, but
that was where it was sort of originated. That little whirlwind tour.
They were like testing it out, and then Louis came in out of nowhere, unannounced, wasn't on the schedule or anything. Louis C.K. I don't give a fuck what you say. He's the man. I think maybe just a pure stand-up best ever, possibly.
Speaking of cancel culture, I remember I worked at Dangerfield's Comedy Club. We had Chris Rock, Louis C.K., and someone else's picture. And he's fucking
best buddies.
Did they take his picture down?
Yeah, they did take it. We did take it down. I'm
gonna go spray paint his face on the front of that fucking place. Anyway, he popped in and he just worked out some insane material, and Chris and I were just like, "Get the fuck out of here!" It was like Tuesday night or Thursday night, and it ended up being Thursday night, I think, and it was the monologue he did on Saturday Night Live like 3 days later. Shit. That monologue was the shit he worked out.
Workshopping it with.
You're alone, right?
Yeah. Is it cool if I start filming now?
No, when we get inside. Why are you here?
I just thought it was really interesting, that someone hasn't left their basement in 6 months, not even to use the bathroom. Is that true?
Why would I want to go out there? I got everything I need right here. That's what's wrong with most people. They're weak-willed pussies and parasites who buy into that whole "it takes a village" bullshit. You know how many aliases I've used calling into radio shows?
I've had it up to my goddamn gills with the systematic feminization of this country.
Of course we want to. Get your own damn show if you think you got that much to say.
You live in your mom's basement.
Get down! Fuck you! What's so special about my loser son?
You really do hate your own mother.
She's a woman. Why wouldn't I?
There's some disconnect there, and if I can find it, what is hate? Where does it come from? Where does it go?
You want to know what gender you are? Reach down the front of your fucking pants and shoot fucking kite. Black Lives Matter. Do you call horses slaves? Liberal fucktard. Enough with the parades and the rainbow flags.
Dude, this guy's... it's like pure hate, man.
Want to see something really fucking cool?
This guy is a fucking animal. He's got himself on a leash. He's itching to get off that fucking leash. And he's gonna fucking kill some people.
What a fucking show.
Stop!
What do we hear?
Look at me! Look at me!
We're gonna help you show them the light. We're gonna change the world.
This is Cactus Jack coming to you live from a studio audience.
To the man who calls himself Cactus Jack, we have watched as you have rocketed to infamy.
And you wonder why these cornered animals lash out.
Pick a fucking side.
And now, we have watched as you have called for literal blood.
I know you're out there listening. It's buzzing in your ears, burrowing into your brain.
Do it.
Jack, you're gonna love this. I pulled that trigger on that motherfucker's head.
Your VPN will not shield you. The darknet will not hide you. You and your kind are finished.
You think I'm scared of you?
Come and fucking get me!
Might I be your neighbor? Neighbor?